Welcome in everybody to this edition of Valpo All Access, brought to you by Pepsi. I'm Brandon Vickery from Valpo Sports Information. Glad to be joined via Zoom by Garrett Willis from the Valpo men's golf team. Garrett, thanks for joining us today on Valpo All Access. I want to jump in and ask you first about this fall golf season. Obviously, it was an unusual year, but you did get the chance to compete in a few competitive events. What was that like for you this fall?
An absolute blessing. I mean, we got to play more competitive golf this fall than I believe 95 to 99% of programs in the nation did this year. So in a tough set of circumstances, it was really a blessing to get to actually go out and compete and showcase our talent as a team and as individuals this fall. Obviously, the competition we played in went very well. Along with that. So overall, it was a great experience. I wish we could have had more. Unfortunately, that's out of our control. But it was really a cool thing to go out and compete and to be able to be the first team back to represent Valpo in athletic competition this year.
And you did quite well and took advantage of that opportunity. You won MVC Performer of the Week. You were the medalist in the tournament at Coghill. Just what stood out to you about that event, and take me through your performance in that tournament.
What stood out to me about that event was just the overall growth that we had as a team. I can remember my freshman year when I came in here was really something that we strove to be. Something that we strove to do was just finish in the top half of every single field and to really not set the bar too high. That way we weren't disappointing ourselves if we didn't perform. But this year we came out with the mindset of executing to the best of our ability, staying patient within our process, whether that's short term or even with the long-term goals of the tournament. And for us to be able to go out and perform with a different mindset this year is what allowed us to win. And not even just winning this fall, but also stacking that on to a win that we had back in February. It's been a great year for Valpo golf. And myself individually, I was very pleased that I was able to stay patient within my own individual process within the tournament. I think that I played some of the most mature golf that I've ever played at that event at Coghill, and really did a great job of managing an imperfect game to play a really, really solid golf tournament. And it kind of acted as a boost of confidence for me to show that even on a golf course where Tiger Woods is famous for having won 5 or 6 times, to go out and compete and play under par golf on an extremely difficult golf course was something really cool to see for myself and for the team as a whole.
Shifting gears to a sad note, the passing of volunteer assistant coach Tom Branken was a tough hit to the Valpo golf community. Can you touch on kind of your memories, Garrett, of working with Coach Branken and what it means to dedicate this season to him?
Coach Branken was such a blessing for our team. We have nothing but positive memories about him. He influenced every single player on our team in a different way throughout his time here. I was here for both of his years that he was on our team, and he really spoke depths about not just the character of this team, but also the willingness to fight and grind. And he instilled values with us to be able to never give up on a round, to constantly be present emotionally in every single shot that we hit as well. And overall, Coach Tom was a great role model for us for how to live life on a daily basis, and acted as a role model to show this is what it means to be a man of character. And his impact on our team, while it will be felt on the short term for us dedicating this season to him, hopefully being able to bring home a Valley Championship come April, his impact on this team will be felt long past this year with what he did for most of the guys on our team besides the freshmen getting to know him. Absolute honor to get to know Coach Tom, and he's missed for certain, but it is really transitioned to less of being sad that he's not gone, but thankful for the time we got to spend with him while he was here.
Very well put. And shifting gears, Garrett, completely away from the golf course. I think a lot of Valpo fans know you from your work on WVUR. You handled play-by-play for many of the men's basketball games a year ago. We'll hear more of the same for the home games here at the Arc this season. Just kind of take me through where you first got into sports broadcasting and what led you to want to do that.
I started sports broadcasting back when I was a freshman in high school. So believe it or not, I'm going into my 7th year of experience with calling games. live on air. I had a great radio teacher back at Homestead High School in Fort Wayne, and Mr. Adam Schenkel, and him and one of my good buddies, who's the sports director at Indiana University's radio station, Austin Render, were really the two people to get me heavily involved back in high school. And it's something that I had an interest in for all 4 years there. And to be able to bring that to Valpo and to give student athletes the coverage they deserve here is something that I've really wanted to do for a long time. So it's a passion of mine. I take a lot of pride in my work, and to be sports director for the great radio station WVUR this year and to walk in the same shoes that people like Adam Amin were in here several years ago is truly an honor. And I'm doing everything in my power this year to bring the best sports coverage possible to Valpo fans, not just here in our community, but all over the world.
I think that's one thing that's special about Valpo is the chance to compete in Division I athletics, but also work on those things away from the field or away from the course in this case. Just what's it been like for you to balance being a Division I golfer at Valpo with those commitments to WVUR?
It's been a challenge, but I think that overall it's been nothing but a positive experience. I think that myself being a student athlete can help bring a different appreciation in covering what athletics is like here on a daily basis. Instead of just being the person off the side covering games and maybe talking to the athletes every once in a while, I've been able to create that personal connection with guys on the basketball teams and girls on the basketball teams, and to get to know those players personally and have them be your peers here on campus is something really special. And I feel like I bring a little bit different vibe and perspective through that to calling athletics. You're not just the Sports Center host who never gets to meet these individuals, but instead you get to have those interactions and create that personal touch on the radio because you're calling games for your peers and your friends instead of just random kids that you before. So I think that it's a great positive to be involved in both, and it's taught me a lot of great things about how to manage time, how to be as best of a business person I can here to help run WVUR efficiently as well. So it's a great opportunity to not just bring glory and honor to Valpo, but also to be able to create a more well-rounded individuality within myself.
Well, you've been a great representative of the university, both what you've done on the golf course and your excellence with your radio play-by-play that many of our followers are familiar with. So Garrett, we appreciate it. Thanks for joining us today and continued success.
Thank you, Brandon. Really appreciate it.
There he is, Garrett Willis. Thanks you for joining us on this week's edition of Valpo All Access, and it's brought to you by Pepsi.